Good Monday morning. I hope your weekend was a good one. I'm meteorologist Craig Moeller, and it's time for this edition of More with Moeller. It's our deeper dive into weather, some of the big stories impacting the country. We're going to talk about some of the things going on. We're going to talk about the upcoming weather for the big travel week. Lots of folks taking to the air and hitting the roads. We'll let you know what you can expect with the Thanksgiving holiday weekend approaching. And we've got some more things to talk about coming down the line. Let's run through these topics. You know, we do this every morning at 10:30 on the East Coast, and then we have it available for you to check out at your leisure. We're streaming out on YouTube. We've got it on our 13 News Now Plus app. Here are the topics for today. We're going to talk about some flooding in California from the atmospheric river. You know, there's been this stream of moisture producing very heavy rain across parts of California and up into the Pacific Northwest. The river's shifting. We're going to talk about where it's headed and who's likely to see more rain and some heavier snow that'll be coming up. That's our first topic. We're also going to talk about that Thanksgiving travel outlook. We'll talk about conditions across the country leading up to the Thanksgiving weekend. Then we're going to focus on the Mid-Atlantic region as well. A lot of the viewers here checking out More with Moeller from around the Mid-Atlantic, and we want to talk about travel by car in our region as well. As we take a look, the next big chill is on the way for the eastern half of the country. We're going to talk about this next cold outbreak, when it arrives, and how long models suggest it could last. You definitely want to stay tuned for that. Really some interesting stuff to run through here. We're going to start off, though, talking about the flooding and the atmospheric river, the issues in Northern California, and I've got some video to share with you. Let's start off with this. Now, this major storm system dropped a lot of heavy rain in California. This was one of our main talkers last week when we did our More with Moeller on Friday. You see this vineyard here. They had so much rain over parts of California. There were some small landslides and flooding of streets. You see this aerial footage is from Sonoma County, and it shows this vineyard covered in floodwater near Windsor. In Santa Rosa, California, they said they had their wettest 3-day period on record. So Santa Rosa picked up about 12.5 inches of rain. That's 32 centimeters of rain, and that was through Friday evening. So that set a record. And again, just a lot of rain there creating flooding. That flooding closed part of Scenic Highway 1, which is also known as PCH, or Pacific Coast Highway, in Mendocino County. And there was no estimate for when they would reopen that, according to the California Department of Transportation. Now, there's another system that's already coming into play and bringing more moisture into California, and it's going to continue into Tuesday. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I'll show you some of the projections and how things have shifted. A little more video to share with you. This is from Butte County, and you can see the flood warnings that were issued and necessary. This area, again, really at risk with the flooding, part of a burn scar from the park fire. So, you know, they've been dealing with fires. Once you get those burn scars, the ground doesn't absorb any of the rain. You get the heavy rain coming in, and it creates all kinds of trouble. So there was Rock Creek Mud Creek, Big Chico Creek, all of these different drainages all running full and creating flooding. So the California Highway Patrol and California's Fire Swift Rescue Water Team also had to stand on guard ready in Butte County to get people out as needed. We have come through the weekend, but I'll tell you, I know there was at least one fatality associated with some of the flooding that was reported. So a lot of trouble back there in California. Things are starting to change up a little bit, and we're going to take a look at how as we go along. Let's go back to a topic that I believe one of my colleagues talked about when I was on vacation last week, but I want to, you hear us talk about this atmospheric river, and you might wonder, well, what the heck are they talking about? Well, it's similar to an actual river, only an atmospheric river is this large, narrow, continuous band of moisture. It's not on the ground, it's up in the sky. Obviously, this makes sense. It's in the atmosphere. It's our atmospheric river. Now, in general, you take a look at this river of moisture that's up in the sky, all of this moisture streaming into the area. It's a giant band of water vapor, and I'm going to show you the satellite water vapor imagery coming up in just a few minutes here. On average, it may be 200 to even 400 miles wide, and that moisture pushes inland. As the moisture encounters land, okay, specifically mountains, those mountains force it upward. It's an effect we call orographic lifting. When the winds blow into the mountains, well, they can't blow through the mountains, obviously, and they don't just sit there. When you've got the winds, they push up the side of the mountain. That moisture cools and condenses, and it can produce rain, and if it's cold enough, obviously you get snow. Now, depending on the duration of the atmospheric river, it can produce very heavy snow, flooding, and even mudslides, which is some of the issues they've been dealing with back in California and into the Pacific Northwest. Here's a look at the water vapor imagery, and we can take this full because I want to walk over and take a closer look at this with you. You can see, again, all of this, what looks like just cloud cover, similar to what you'd see with the satellite image. This is not picking up infrared cloud cover. This is showing where there's areas of deeper moisture kind of streaming in. You can see a little bit of that down to the south, but it's been this area around an area of low pressure here that's been bringing this ribbon in to California. Over, the latter part of last week and into the weekend, that ribbon of moisture was farther to the north. It's now shifting a little farther to the south. We've got this area again south of California, but this is the area that we're talking about specifically, and I want to talk to you about some of the impacts. So again, there was flooding rains across parts of California and some issues off to the north. There's still possible flooding, flash flooding with some of these areas to the north, but I wanted to show you how the area more likely here, kind of the eastern side of some of the central valleys in California, as this moisture comes in, again, crosses over, moves across the valleys, and eventually, as that moisture is forced up the mountains, you have the potential for some very heavy snow up in the highest elevations, and you could have some runoff issues. As I mentioned, maybe a little bit of flash flooding, certainly a possibility with some of this. So you see this, again, this is the outlook from the Weather Prediction Center, and the hydrologists will be paying close attention to that. Now, rainfall still northern parts of California. You can see through San Jose and Salinas, maybe up to a half an inch or so. Could see some of that around Stockton and Sacramento, areas off to the north, Chico, another half of an inch or so. But it's these areas down to the south that we're really going to want to keep a close eye to. As you come south down through Salinas and Paso Robles, you've got more like 1 to 2 inches of rain there. Fresno could see 1 to 2 inches of rain, but it's up in the mountains where they could see 2 to 4 inches of rain. And, it's cold enough at those mountaintops, it means potentially really significant snowfall. So let's take a look at the snow outlook, and this is just the GFS snowfall potential, but this is in addition to what they've already seen, and where you have that atmospheric river feeding in to those mountains in eastern California back over towards Nevada. You get up there into the Sierras, you could see some significant snow, maybe 33 inches or more at Mammoth Lakes. Lone Pine, it says 10.8, but there's an area in here between Mammoth Lakes and Lone Pine that it gets even heavier. So some really significant snow over the highest elevations there, those mountains, and it's something that we'll be watching. Of course, that snowpack helps with water, and the water supply coming into the summer, and it's not a bad thing for the resorts either. They love that fresh snowfall, but it is something that we need to keep an eye to. And again, that atmospheric river producing some more rain for California. All right, I think this next topic is something a lot of folks will be interested in. Maybe you're traveling, maybe you're staying at home, and you've got folks traveling from other parts of the country in to see you. Let's talk about our Thanksgiving travel weather. And again, you can see with that atmospheric river, again, more moisture, rain from San Francisco down through LA. This is what's happening at 10:30 Eastern time here on the East Coast. You can see things are quiet on this Monday morning right here. As we look back across the Great Lakes region, there's snow across parts of Wisconsin, back to the Arrowhead of Minnesota, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, seeing a little bit of snow as well. See Lake Superior, it's chilly up there over Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, dealing with some showers around Mackinac Island and Mackinac. You can see again back around Huron, also some scattered showers. You come back over most of the southeast, it's pretty quiet. Florida looks good right now. Pretty quiet across Texas. We've got a ridge of high pressure in the central part of the country, but there is a storm system that is going to work eastward, and that's going to have some impacts on the temperature outlook. And part of the story we're going to be going over here in a little bit. But this is the situation, what's happening right now. Now, as you make your plans to travel, maybe you're going to be heading out later today or tomorrow. A lot of folks will be hitting the roads on Wednesday and flying around on Wednesday. So here's a look ahead at the upcoming travel weather through Thanksgiving. And again, it is unsettled, as I just showed you, along the West Coast and up through the Pacific Northwest. With high pressure in the central U.S., it's looking pretty good from eastern Montana through Wyoming and Colorado, New Mexico, Texas. It all looks good through the northern plains, the Great Plains. Beautiful weather there. We've got unsettled weather, though, once you get back across the Ohio River Valley, mid-Mississippi Valley, and again, the Great Lakes region. This is later today. Still looking good here on the East Coast and down through Florida. All right, we'll take you forward into Tuesday, and now it gets a little more interesting. Our cold front's coming through the Northeast and pushing through the mid-Atlantic, Hampton Roads area. We're going to see this front passing through. I do think there's a chance for a few isolated showers as we go late morning Tuesday, and by about midday or maybe early afternoon, then that stuff moves out and things will be improving. Keep that in mind. If you're open to travel Tuesday or maybe early Wednesday, you may want to put off your travel plans. Take a look at how it looks up in the Northeast right now for late Tuesday. If you don't want to mess with any rain or any potential for mix or snow off to the Northeast, maybe just wait a little bit, because as you'll see, again, some snow back across Colorado, Utah, and some of these areas out across the Intermountain West, back towards California. They're still dealing with some unsettled weather. Watch what happens here as we get into Wednesday. That system pulls away. Now you've got really nice travel conditions throughout the eastern seaboard all the way down through Florida. So things look good there for Wednesday. Much of the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast kind of quieting down as well a bit on Wednesday. So not too bad there. Still some unsettled weather, parts of Arizona and New Mexico, some snow maybe back across Colorado and certainly back over the mountains. Kind of exciting. If anybody's thinking about heading out that way, you'll love to see the snow over the mountains, but it can make for some tricky travel, especially in the highest elevations. Across the southeast U.S., things pretty quiet, but maybe a few stray showers around the Florida Panhandle or back towards Louisiana. A few showers also possible Illinois into Indiana. Now, we're going to keep an eye to this area here, because while Wednesday looks good for travel, if you've got outdoor plans on Thursday, Thanksgiving, maybe you're staying local or you've got some friends or family gathering. I'm supposed to go to a party Thursday afternoon where everybody gets together outside, kind of a neighborhood fun thing with some close friends. It's always a great time. It looks like it's going to be wet. Not looking forward to that. You see how the rain fills in. Some scattered showers there for Thanksgiving Day. So maybe your family tradition is to, have your meal and get out and play football. That's what I do with my sons and my wife. We've always had fun doing some of that stuff outside, just getting out and enjoying it. It's going to be a problem here in the mid-Atlantic. Some scattered showers up around Cape Cod, back down through New York State, potentially rain. Out across western parts of North Carolina, down through northern Georgia and into Alabama. Could see some pockets of a little bit heavier rain potentially, but generally, I think showers on Thanksgiving for those areas. High pressure builds here. Now things are looking really good back out across the Rockies. So things are good there. As we look out to the West Coast, pretty quiet there on Thanksgiving Day. So really, most of the issues with the rain right here in the mid-Atlantic, off to the north, the northeast U.S., and then back down through Louisiana, some scattered showers. That's Thanksgiving Day. After that, you can see the system does pull out. And I just wanted to mention early Friday morning, Black Friday, there could be still some showers lingering right along the eastern seaboard. So while I don't think as many brick and mortar stores are doing the doorbusters like they used to 15, 20 years ago, there are still some places that are giving you some incentive to get out there early Friday morning, and it may be a family tradition that you enjoy doing. You've got Thanksgiving meal behind you. Now you're going to get out there and do some fun holiday shopping or whatever. Just know there could be some showers early Friday and some more snow back across the Northeast, a little bit of snow up around the Great Lakes region, and maybe a little bit more creeping back into the picture for the Northwest U.S. So this is something else we're going to watch. That's for Friday into the upcoming weekend. It looks like things will be improving. Now, I did want to mention with Wednesday, the travel weather here. Let's give you some temperatures. 49 up in Boston, 51 in New York City, Atlanta, 67 degrees, 81 in Orlando, and New Orleans, 79. I mentioned that rain on Wednesday. St. Louis, 46 and wet. 44 in Chicago, chilly up in Minneapolis and up around St. Paul there, 58 in Oklahoma City, Dallas at 81. Warm down in Houston, 84 and partly sunny, so some good weather down around Houston, just a little bit warm. Out to the west, we'll take a look. Denver, 35, some snow showers potentially, especially some of the higher elevations. Salt Lake City, some snow showers possible. And then as we get into the West Coast, things a little cooler for San Francisco, 60 degrees, 63 in L.A., but very comfortable there, 61 in Vegas and 45 up in Seattle. Obviously, the chilliest conditions right here, Denver to Salt Lake and Billings. Phoenix is at 76. That's on Wednesday. Now, I do want to talk about the regional weather. And again, a lot of folks traveling by car here in the Mid-Atlantic. If you're joining, I am a meteorologist from WVEC. That's 13 News Now in Norfolk, Virginia, serving Virginia Beach, all of Hampton Roads in Northeast North Carolina. And you can see, again, a lot of folks may be joining us here on the 13 News Now Plus app. You want to know, what about us? We're going to be traveling up to Charlottesville or maybe up to D.C. This is on Wednesday, and I picked 4 o'clock as a time because a lot of folks maybe take off early from work. You're going to drive 3-4 hours in a different direction to go visit grandma, or maybe you've got family coming in. This is what you can expect on Wednesday. Charlotte at 63, 66 at Columbia, temps low 60s at Cape Hatteras, and New Bern looking pretty good. Out towards Lexington, you see some of those showers. That's the leading part of that rain that will eventually come in for Thanksgiving Day. So that's a look at our regional map. We're going to continue to update this as we get closer to Thanksgiving, so keep checking back if you're interested in that. For Thanksgiving Day, I mentioned the wet weather. We're going to see it here. New York City around 47, 42 in Cleveland, 64 for Thanksgiving in Atlanta, and 72 down around the Big Easy, 67 at Houston. Remember, it was going to be warmer there on Wednesday and then much cooler as you look ahead to Houston on Thanksgiving Day. 46 in Oklahoma City, that chilly air back across the mountainous areas. We're talking Salt Lake and Denver. This colder air is spreading eastward. That's going to be a topic we talk about, the next big chill that's on the way. But you can see cooler conditions there. 26 for the high there on Thanksgiving in Minneapolis. Temperatures upper 60s for L.A., mid-70s around Phoenix, and 60 in San Francisco. Still cool in Seattle, but how about Billings? 24 degrees. There you go. All right. And how about areas that still have snow on the ground? I want to talk to you about that as well. You can see back up in the northwest, we've got snow on the ground over the mountains of California up into Oregon and Washington State. Parts of Idaho and Montana, snow covered as well down through Denver. Again, the highest elevation seeing the snow. Snow across the northern tier of the U.S. on the ground. And we've got some pockets not only along the Blue Ridge here in the Appalachians here closer to the East Coast, but up into the Northeast U.S., some snow on the ground up that way as well. No snow for the central U.S. or the South and Southeast. Obviously, it's just been too warm. All right, that's a look at the snow. I mentioned the colder weather on the way, and that is our next topic. So we're going to jump into that. The next big chill is in sight. So what do we do? Well, I come in off the weekend and I take a look at all of my forecast guidance, and I look ahead nationally. I take a look at Hampton Roads weather in different parts of the country. Say, okay, what's the big picture here? What are we looking at coming down the road? And as I got into some of the 10 to 14 day outlooks and I dug a little bit deeper, I kept looking out. I was like, man, it looks pretty chilly. Let's talk about this. First of all, for the month of November, and this is for Norfolk, you can see we've been above average most days. We had a stretch of days up over 80 degrees. You can see on the 1st, on the 5th, 6th, 7th, we had some really warm weather, upper 70s on the 11th. So most of November has been pretty warm. This is for Hampton Roads and Norfolk specifically. As we take a look at the cooler conditions coming, some things are going on here, and you see the woolly worm, some people call it a woolly bear, moving along. You know, there's that old saying, you can tell how harsh the winter's going to be by looking at the coloration on the woolly worm. That's not this year's woolly worm, but I just thought it was kind of cool to check him out, creeping on by. Again, the more black, the harsher the winter, the more brown, the milder the winter. We'll see. All right, here's what's coming up now. A significant cool air push coming in after Thanksgiving. So mid-Atlantic temperatures, pretty mild today. Hampton Roads, for instance, mid to upper 60s. We're going to do it again tomorrow, but then we get a push of cooler air coming in for Wednesday and a really significant push after Thanksgiving. So the next few days, we're okay. As we get into Friday and Saturday, especially Saturday and Sunday, things start to cool down. There's going to be another big shot of colder air coming in early next week, and it looks like that's going to be the one that sets up a prolonged stretch. We could conceivably have a run of 10 to 12 days with temperatures below average and significantly below average here in the mid-Atlantic. Now, this is a look at the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook. And I wanted to start with this. I was going to go straight into temperatures, but I did want to show that at least some of the longer kind of medium range modeling is suggesting they may catch a break with some drier weather. So we've been talking so much about the atmospheric river. It looks like the pattern may change as we look out between the 1st and the 9th of December. Just to give you a little something there to look forward to and hope for if you're out in Northern California. As you can see, a little wetter for the north central U.S. And you think wetter? Okay. It's typically cold enough for some snow up there. So we'll see if they get some. A little bit wetter down across South Texas as well. Drier for much of the east central U.S., especially through the Ohio River Valley and the mid-Mississippi River valleys. Now temperatures, tale of two sides of the country. Warm out to the west. Again, this is December 1st through the 9th. Colder for the eastern U.S. And here we go as we dive in to the mid-Atlantic region. Again, this is where I am home based out of Norfolk, Virginia, and Virginia Beach, the eastern shore, the Outer Banks of North Carolina, eastern North Carolina. The entire 13 News Now viewing area is very likely to be chilly between the 1st and 9th of December. So we've got this colder stretch of weather upcoming. Take a look at the 10-day forecast, and this is just one of the models, but I just want to give you kind of a sense of how things look going out. Today and tomorrow, temperatures mid-60s, mid to upper 60s. Our normal high is 59, so a couple of days above normal upcoming. By Wednesday, probably a little bit below average. Thursday, close to average, but we've got that rain coming up for Thanksgiving. Remember that. On Friday, partly cloudy, 54, temps trending down. Here we go. 47 on Saturday. And then I mentioned that next push of cold air coming in early next week. 48 on Sunday. Low 40s for highs. This is freakish for Hampton Roads to see highs in the low 40s this time of year. What, we're talking 17 degrees, maybe 18 degrees below average. We'll see. Overnight lows down to the mid-20s. Again, we've already had some freeze warnings for parts of the area, but we may see some more of that into early next week. We will enjoy some sunshine, but that cold weather continues right on through Thursday. And as I was looking out even farther, we could see it go several days beyond that. So just wanted to give you a heads up. If you're watching from Hampton Roads, it is going to get a lot cooler. Now, how about this morning? Temperatures inland were plenty cold this morning. We had 29 in Emporia, 31 in Franklin and Chesapeake. We were in the mid-30s. Williamsburg through Newport News, a little bit milder. Hampton at 40, 36 in Virginia Beach, and 38 in Elizabeth City. Those were morning temperatures. And again, you can see the normal overnight low 42 at Norfolk. So these temperatures a little bit below average to start out, but as we take it through the afternoon, those temperatures will climb. We've been enjoying a lot of sunshine today. It's been beautiful to start the day, and the temperatures should respond. We'll see highs close to 66 degrees, winds generally light from the west and the southwest. Good looking Monday. Good way to ease into this upcoming short holiday work week. A lot of folks back at work today and tomorrow, and then taking off that time later in the week. As we head through the overnight skies, mainly clear to partly cloudy. I expect high clouds to start pushing in tomorrow. Now we take a look at this moisture out to the west. It's going to approach, and I would say we will look for wet weather to develop. The best chance is coming late morning, and at 9:45 tomorrow morning, we could start seeing some showers pushing towards Williamsburg, maybe working down the peninsula through Newport News or reaching York. This is 9:45 where I stop it. Along I-95, a little bit of wet weather scattered out there. We'll see our chances for isolated showers to maybe some scattered wet weather late morning. And then with the front coming through, you see the winds ahead of the front coming up from the southwest and the west. behind the front, the wind shifting to the northwest. Here comes that cooler air, a little bit cooler looking ahead to Wednesday. But that wet weather moves out during the afternoon. Should be nice Tuesday evening and into early Wednesday. Not bad at all. As we go through the day on Wednesday, high clouds start to push back in. Temperatures on Wednesday, instead of being up in the mid to upper 60s, we're staying in the 50s. And as we look ahead to Thanksgiving, by about 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, we start to see that next batch of wet weather approaching, some more rain moving into the area. That last frame just popped them out. But anyway, rain is going to fill in on Thanksgiving Day. We don't have to worry about any of that right now, not in Hampton Roads. We've got the sunshine. It is beautiful out there. It was chilly this morning, but now the temperatures are responding absolutely great as we check out the Priority Automotive Sky Views. Temperatures right now are in the low 60s, headed for highs as we go this afternoon in the mid to upper 60s. So it will be warming up as we go along. Not a bad afternoon at all. Mostly sunny skies. Enjoy today. That's my advice. Today, get out, take advantage of it. Yesterday, it's early for me, but I got out and I actually hung holiday Christmas decorations and lights out there just because I knew there were some changes coming up and I wanted to get them up before Thanksgiving. We've got family coming in town. We wanted to have the house decorated for the holidays. If you're in Hampton Roads and you still have some outdoor things to take care of, some decorations, you may want to do it today. We've got those showers tomorrow. Hampton, Newport News, Williamsburg, low to mid 60s. Gloucester about the same. Temperatures upper 50s over to the eastern shore. Outer Banks, temperatures low 60s there, mid to upper 60s for most of northeast North Carolina. Overnight tonight, the low temperatures are going to dip to about 50 degrees. It's going to be partly cloudy. These mild conditions overnight, we'll enjoy that. Tomorrow, temperature-wise, back in the mid to upper 60s. This may be just a little misleading, though. I think these temperatures are really going to be early afternoon because that cold front comes through. The wind shift eventually from the southwest to the northwest are going to be light, and there's going to be cooler air moving in behind that. So here's a 7-day forecast. We can take this full. You'll notice the temperatures dipping back into the 50s on Wednesday, and then by Thursday, one more little surge of warmer air, about 64 degrees or so for Thursday's high on Thanksgiving. Showers are going to be likely. Right now, I've got those chances around 70%. This is for Hampton Roads, Virginia, and northeast North Carolina. Do look for those showers on Thursday. We may adjust them up or down a little bit. And then that chance for morning showers lingering into early Friday on Black Friday. It's always kind of a little ominous to see one of our day bars here colored in black, but it's Black Friday, so it's very appropriate. As we look ahead to the weekend, temperatures into the mid 40s. So it is going to be really nice as we get into the weekend, but it's also going to be really chilly for us this time of year. Again, normally we're in the upper 50s. So looking ahead to the weekend, we start that run of cold temperatures, and really from Friday on, we could see the next, say, 10, 11, 12 days or so below average. We'll see how things play out. Want to remind you, you can follow me on social media, Facebook, look Craig Moeller, you'll find me. Craig Moeller TV on Instagram, and on X or Twitter, you'll find me at 13 Craig Moeller. Again, I hope you enjoy these deeper dives into the weather. We will be doing them again each morning, Mondays through Fridays at 10:30 when I'm out on vacation, as was the case part of last week and the week before. I have colleagues jumping in, and we're going to be doing more of this exclusive content for our digital platforms, 13 News Now Plus app. If you don't have that, you need to get that on your Roku device, Apple TV, Fire TV. It's a great way to get all kinds of bonus content from 13 News Now, and my colleagues here, our weather team, is outstanding. So I always want to encourage folks to download the app so you can check us out. And again, we'll be doing more of this with more meteorologists from across the country. We've got big plans to continue to expand more with Moeller. So if you're a weather junkie like a lot of us are and you enjoy these deeper dives, please keep checking back, and we'll keep you updated. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great day. And if you're getting out and traveling early, be sure and travel safely. We'll have more travel updates for you with each of our More with Moellers over the next few days. Have a great one.